How difficult should games be? That's quite the question, and one that I'm not sure has a definitive answer. For most games out there, obviously you're going to want a good challenge to overcome. But if things get too tough and you kind of hit a brick wall that you can't get past, it can make the player kind of want to stop playing and move on to something else. Especially these days when there's like an infinite amount of games out there to play. I myself started out playing video games with NES and Genesis, so I'm no stranger to incredibly difficult games. But man, it is really discouraging when you lose that last life and suddenly all this progress you made in the game is gone. I still love retro games, but I mean, let's be real here. The actual reason that old games tend to be so hard isn't because the developers wanted to make us suffer. It's more to mask how short these games actually are, by making you play the same level over and over and over again. That's why, even as a little kid, I was done with Kirby's Dream Land in like an hour. Don't get me wrong, I still like this game, but it's not going to keep you involved for very long. Old arcade games are notorious for being really difficult, but the idea there is that you'll keep putting in quarters until you eventually clear the game. I've done it before though, and so can you. I believe in you. As far as old school games go, I know I'm extremely biased here, but I really always have thought that the original Sonic games really hit that perfect balance. The ring system helps prevent deaths from happening too frequently, and the games themselves are just the right amount of challenging, at least to me. And if you really want to go for that extra challenge beyond just completing the game, you can go for those Chaos Emeralds as well. So yeah, we're past the 8-bit and 16-bit days now, and while it's not like difficult games don't exist anymore, there are different ways that developers go about it now. Obviously, you still want the challenge to be there, but what about those specific parts that you just can't get past because they're stupid? I like how the Crash Bandicoot games handles this. If you die enough times at a certain spot, you'll start again with an Aku Aku mask that lets you take an extra hit. So like, you still have to do the thing, but now you have a little extra help. Games like Super Mario 3D World though, take this a little too far, where in this game if you die too many times, it'll give you a golden leaf that makes you straight up invincible. That's too much. That's lame. And then, there's the freaking Super Guide in New Super Mario Bros. U, where you just watch the level being played for you and progress from there. God, that's so stupid! I mean, I know they wanted this game to be accessible for as many people as possible, but come on! For online multiplayer games, the challenge comes more in the form of other players rather than what the developers themselves designed. Which I guess can be both a good and bad thing. I'm sure it's discouraging if you're coming into a new game and you just get obliterated before you can even figure out what you're doing. It probably just takes practice. I don't know. I don't play shooters. One thing I appreciate about modern games overall is the retention in progress. Celeste is a great example of this. It's a very difficult game, but as you make it through each segment of the level, you're given the opportunity to retry again and again and again. This game actively encourages you to keep going and overcome the challenges, and I love it for that. Super Mario Odyssey gets rid of lives altogether, so when you die in this game, your punishment is losing coins, which I think is a great system. You know, you'll still want to play the best you can, because losing coins sucks and you can get all kinds of cool stuff with them, but you won't be sent back to the title screen or map screen or anything like that from failing too many times. Visual novel games, at least from what I played, are really good about retaining your progress. And they give you time to stop and think, but they don't punish you too greatly for making wrong choices. Just like, you know, as long as they're good about saving pretty often. Okay, I suppose I should bring this up before anyone mentions that I'm missing a very obvious point here. And that's that, yes, many games out there have different difficulty settings. How much they change the experience, and what kind of changes those settings make, are different for each game. And the whole risk and reward factor in different difficulty settings in different games is a whole other topic in itself. So for this video at least, I'm just going to be focusing on the default, intended difficulty for games. One thing I will say on this topic though, is that I hate when you get outright punished for choosing an easy difficulty. I remember beating Killer Instinct on Super Nintendo on really easy as a little kid, only to be treated to a message that basically says, Good job, loser. You've cleared baby mode. Now try playing on a real difficulty setting to actually see the ending of the game. Loser. Yep, that's what I remember it saying anyway. Also worth mentioning is how more modern methods of playing retro games include stuff like save states and the ability to rewind and undo any mistake you make. I mean, you can play these games however you'd like, but I might judge you just a little bit. So, back to the original question. How difficult should games be? Well, if you're watching this for a definitive answer, then I don't have one. Sorry for wasting your time there. But it's an interesting topic to discuss, and to see how different developers approach it. And yeah, obviously this is not a factor for every game out there. There are games like Animal Crossing where you're not really trying to overcome challenges so much as kind of just doing whatever you want. As for me, I do enjoy a challenge at times, as long as I can retain my progress along the way. And I guess I can't bring up this topic without mentioning the infamous Dark Souls. I tried it once at a friend's house, and I will totally admit that it completely kicked my ass. It seemed fun though. Maybe I should try it again sometime. So yeah, thanks for watching, and be sure to leave your thoughts about game difficulty in the comments. I hope you all have a hat-stackin' good day.